cut it off, brother. I didn't want to look like you.
10 simple words, and the world of a humble hedge knight shatters. What began as a story about a gutter rat proving his worth in the mud of Ashford collides with the heavy, unyielding weight of the Iron Throne. In The Squire, masks come off. The colourful pageantry of a tournament gives way to the jagged, merciless reality of Targaryen history. And at the heart of it lies one haunting question. Is nobility something you are born into, or something you earn through fire, blood, and unflinching choices? We move beyond mud and lances. Today, we unmask the prince, expose the Gwynspiracy, and examine the psychological breaking point that transforms what seems like a sports drama into a story of survival, and, in Westeros, often a death sentence.
There.
Yes!
The episode opens in a rare moment of calm. Dunk crouches beside Egg, guiding the boys' small hands as they sew a patch together. His massive fingers envelop the delicate needlework, a visual contrast that underscores the vast difference between their worlds. The camera lingers on this quiet intimacy. Every sound is purposeful. When Egg prepares to sigh in frustration, the moment is replaced by a horse's whinny, a playful reminder of his connection to the animals he trains and the empathy he carries for all living things.
I think a horse doesn't want to be ordered about any more than a man does.
Egg argues gently, almost philosophically, that horses, and men, don't want to be ordered about. They want to be treated with respect. It's a small lesson, but a foundational one, hinting at the wisdom and fairness that will one day define the king he is destined to become. By moving this encounter to the tourney grounds, the show highlights the bond between the two early, setting the stage for the challenges ahead. And while Dunk's hands are large and rough, they are also skilled, capable, teaching not just survival, but patience, care, and the value of practical knowledge passed down from Sir Arlen. But that calm is fleeting. Dunk steps forward, hoping to officially enter the tournament. The stewards meet him with cold, unyielding rules.
The right of first challenge goes to knights of high birth and renown.
For a low-born hedge knight like Dunk, there's no easy path, no quick entry.
Goose eggs, like. Do you like goose eggs?
Flustered and desperate to maintain dignity in front of Tanzel, Dunk fumbles through the crowd. He approaches a merchant, intending to buy meat, but his words stumble out awkwardly, and somehow he ends up with goose eggs instead. It's a small, almost comical failure, but it tells the audience everything about Dunk. He is out of his element, socially clumsy, and desperately trying to navigate a world built for others. While Egg moves through the crowd with ease, singing and blending in, Dunk struggles. His body betrays him, hands trembling, stomach churning, until he physically vomits from panic. A grown man, supposed warrior, brought low by fear. In that moment, Dunk is not a hero. He is a young man terrified of failure, grappling with his own imposter syndrome. In the books, Prince Baelor Breakspear steps in, vouching for Dunk and making his path easier. But here, the show removes that safety net. Dunk must earn his place on his own, or risk being crushed before his journey even begins. If he cannot fight, he cannot win the prize money needed for armor and horse, and the dream of knighthood teeters on the edge of collapse. This rejection is more than personal. It reflects the world Dunk must navigate. The nobility's pageantry is a shield for their gatekeeping, a transactional spectacle where hedge knights are treated as little more than peasants in fancy armor. And yet, it is here, amid humiliation and pressure, that Dunk and Egg begin to forge their bond. Relying on one another, they begin a brotherhood of choice, one that will carry them through every challenge to come. Steward Plummer approaches, his voice low, conspiratorial.
Let Sir Andrew take the fall, and you shall have his horse, arms and armour as recompense for your role.
The Ashfords will cover his mounting costs and offer a generous reward. It is a lifeline thrown to a drowning man, yet it comes at a steep cost. The offer is seductive, practical, and morally corrosive, a glimpse into the seedy reality lurking beneath the tournament's pageantry. In the books, the steward is merely a bureaucratic obstacle. Here, he becomes the face of institutional corruption, orchestrating events to protect the interests of the powerful. The tournament is no longer just a test of skill. It is a stage for political manipulation, a carefully rigged game designed to maintain appearances.
I do not want a victory that I have not earned.
Dunk's response defines him. I do not want a victory that I have not earned. Refusing the offer is more than pride. It is a fundamental commitment to the ideals of knighthood passed down from Sir Arlen. To accept the money would guarantee survival, but at the cost of his soul and his identity as a true knight. To say no is to risk ruin, yet in that choice, Dunk proves that honour is his only possession he will not compromise. This moment tests the virtue of a man in a world where the clever cheat, the rotten apple, often wins. It asks the audience to consider a harsh truth. Sometimes doing the right thing is also the most dangerous thing. In Westeros, nobility is not defined by titles, prizes, or applause. It is measured by the hard, often self-destructive choices one makes when no one is watching. And in this tent, Dunk's decision cements him as a knight not for glory, but for principle. If Baelor Breakspear represents the ideal Targaryen monarch, a seasoned warrior and wise statesman, his nephew Aerion Brightflame represents the dynasty's darkest descent into madness. Where Baelor protects the weak, Aerion embodies the lethal entitlement of his bloodline, a human dragon intoxicated by power and vanity. Aerion's cruelty is not random. It is performative, a desperate attempt to compensate for a deep-seated insecurity. Lacking a literal dragon to command, he enacts extreme violence to prove the potency of his dragon blood to himself and to the realm. Nowhere is this clearer than during the joust against Sir Humphrey Harding. Instead of striking cleanly, Aerion deliberately lowers his lance to impale Harding's horse. The crash shatters the knight's leg. The crowd erupts in horror, yet Aerion smirks, openly reveling in the visceral reaction his sadism provokes. Later, his assault on the puppeteers marks his psychological point of no return. A puppet show depicting a dying dragon is, to Aerion, not entertainment. It is treasonous. It threatens his fragile, preening self-image. With a chilling lack of conscience, he breaks the fingers of Tanzel, demonstrating that to a Targaryen prince, a commoner's livelihood is worth far less than his pride. Vanity outweighs life itself. The show amplifies Aerion's villainy with deliberate visual and narrative cues. His bright, multicoloured armour in the book is replaced with dark, spiky metal, instantly coding him as the antagonist. During the joust, the camera lingers as Egg shouts, "Kill him! Kill him!" A clarifying moment that directs Egg's hatred squarely at his own brother, exposing the fractured state of the Targaryen family. Aerion's cruelty is theatrical. He preens, he smirks, he violates chivalry deliberately, broadcasting dominance over those he sees as beneath him. In every move, every grim smile, he exudes the energy of a Disney villain, beautiful, charismatic, and terrifyingly remorseless. We reach the point of no return. Egg and Dunk stand among the crowd, watching a puppet show that depicts the slaying of a dragon. To the commoners, it is just a story, but to Prince Aerion, it is a personal affront. Insulted by what he deems a treasonous depiction of his house, Aerion descends upon the performers. He seizes Tanzel, the puppeteer, and breaks her fingers, the very tools of her livelihood, declaring, "The dragon ought never lose." The cruelty is immediate, calculated, and horrifying. Dunk does not hesitate. In a world where a hedge knight is expected to bow to royal blood, he chooses the path of righteousness. His response is explosive, raw, and unrefined. He lunges at the prince, delivering a flurry of punches and kicks that send Aerion sprawling into the mud. Unlike the choreographed elegance of a joust, this is gutter-born violence, messy, furious, and utterly human. Sound and camera heighten the gravity of the moment. When the wooden dragon dies, silence descends over the crowd, a palpable weight of fear. Tanzel locks eyes with Aerion, centering the human cost of the prince's madness. In that brutal exchange, Dunk trades his future for his honor, turning what began as a tournament into a lethal, high-stakes struggle. Striking a prince is a capital crime, and with this single act, Dunk sets the stage for a trial where his only defense is the very knighthood he has spent his life trying to prove. The aftermath is immediate and terrifying. Royal guards swarm Dunk, mud-stained and defiant.
You've loosened one of my teeth. So we'll start by breaking out all of yours.
While Aerion, humiliated, demands that the Hedge Knight's teeth be smashed out of his head, death is all but certain, stopped only by the small, hooded figure of a squire stepping between the spears and the man he serves. Egg asserts authority no common stable boy should possess. To prove his claim, he reveals his shaved head, exposing the Targaryen features he had worked so hard to conceal. He is not Egg the Gutter Rat, he is Prince Aegon Targaryen, fourth son of Prince Maekar. The camera isolates him in the chaos. Dust and tears redden his eyes, and the hood frames his face like a mask of intensity, commanding attention far beyond his years. By removing the Fossaways from this moment, the show ensures all focus is on Egg, highlighting his choice to protect Dunk as a deeply personal act of loyalty and love. And then, the line that redefines everything.
I cut it off, brother. I didn't want to look like you.
With those words, Egg rejects the entitlement and cruelty of his bloodline, embracing the honor he found in the company of a Hedge Knight. The stakes of the story shift instantly. This is no longer about Dunk's survival alone. It is about a prince who unmasked himself to save a friend. It sets the stage for the trial of 7, forcing us to confront the series' central question. Is nobility defined by the blood in your veins, or by the actions you take to protect the weak? We have witnessed the unmasking of a prince and the making of a knight. Now, the trial of 7 looms, a ritual of trial by combat rooted in the faith of the 7. Once dormant for over a century, its resurrection transforms Dunk's struggle from a back-alley brawl into a divine reckoning upon the royal family itself. Dunk's only defense is his knighthood. Every strike he has trained for, every vow he has sworn, now becomes the measure of justice in a world where institutional power and true honor collide. He must choose between survival under the law of the powerful or standing for what is right, no matter the cost. As the trial approaches, we are left with the episode's central question. Is a good life worth the sacrifice it takes to protect a great name? And one final thought. What do you think of the show's changes to the Ashford corruption subplot? Did it heighten the tension or shift the story in a way you didn't expect? Let me know in the comments below.